just bugging.
Morning, all you bug lovers out there. It's G-Man with Just Bugging. It's a cold, crisp 45 degrees here. As you can see, got a 79 Super Beetle convertible. I'm gonna do a compression test on it and check the condition of the motor, you know, that way, and before I pull it out, and we're gonna go through the whole thing, strip it down to the casing. It's just gonna be a refresh and clean and detail. So today I'm going to check it up and run me a wire to the exciter wire and the battery, and so I can just sit back here and turn it over and get all the readings on the cylinders and get an idea of what we're going to be dealing with and if there's anything major wrong with it. I've got everything set up for my compression test. I've got my wire hooked to the battery, the positive terminal. The blue wire here is hooked to the exciter on the starter, and I'm already plugged in to number 2 cylinder with my gauge. Alright, let's see what we have on number 2. Looks like a 127. Now we're on number 1 cylinder. Turn it over, see what we got. 125. And I noticed the spark plugs do seem to be burning well, but it's a little rich kind of. But another 125. Of course, though, after valve adjustment, this will should improve. All right, we're on number 4 now. Let's see what we got. 123, 124. It's a little low, but I don't hear the valves tapping, so it's not terrible. Well, might have been why this thing was running kind of rough. See how it's arced it right there? This would not come off. I mean, I tried to take my pliers and hook it to the boot right here and pull that out. I see this happen all the time, but normally when it pulls out, it just pulled out of the connector and the wire's folded over, and you just open it back up and connect it back up. But this has a pin that goes into the center of it. Maybe I can put that back together. I mean, I put the other ones back together, but this is kind of a different style. Finally got it on number 3. It's a little pin, but not a lot of room there. Let's see what we got on the last cylinder. 25. All right, across the board, they're all about the same. It's not bad. And it could be better like 140 or so, but at least you don't have a dead cylinder, and they're all at least 125 across the board. Should improve somewhat with the valve adjustment. We'll find out later. As you can see, the fuel line is running all the way back here, laying on the tin. Thank God it has some titanium wrap on it, but I guarantee you'll have problems with a vapor lock. You'll be on the side of the road, come back here and see all your fuel boiling in this filter. And that is actually the second time in a row. Got a rubber one here too. So big no-no. All right, well, you want to disconnect your throttle cable here. Don't lose that. And then I already disconnected my battery. Let's get all this off. Disconnect the alternator. Put that back on there. Come on, Gorilla Fingers, you can do it. Alright, you got that. Of course, I took photos, but I know where everything goes. I always do. Well, that one can stay there. That's going to be cool. Some dikes over here. A little pressure. Positive off the coil. You got her up in the air high enough. I like to try to get this at least 24 inches or more. So I got 25 inches. Once the jack's out from under it, it should clear. I got the motor out. The one thing I did find is it was only held in by 3 bolts. This one was missing. The top one right here. There's no bolt there. Other than that, I didn't see any problems right away, and looks like it's got a fairly new clutch on it. We'll see when I open it up, but sure, everything looks clean back there. I'm surprised. I'm gonna start taking it apart. Let's see where I start. Let's get these things out of the way. Other than some weeping of fluids and an oil leak, looks like the rear main's leaking. Probably some Push rod tube seals also, I'm sure. Ooh, look at that. That clamp was extremely loose. Let's get all these things with a screwdriver while I got it in my hand. Let me get this sand belt. Yeah, that belt's still got a lot of life in it. For that carburetor. That bad boy out of my way. That's my word for the day. Bad boy. Doesn't have German washers on it, the little wavy washers. Alright. Yeah, it's a little dirty in there. Okay, normally I would take what I call the squirrel cage off first, but you can see it's got Phillips heads in it, so it means the intake's got to get out of the way first. Let's get the fuel pump out of the way. That is quite nasty. All the sludge that made it up in there. Look at the end of the rod. Got a nice nick right there. I mean, you remember the other one on the 74 Super Beetle was all scarred up from somebody filing it down trying to change fuel pressure. This one, I wonder what it's done to the can. And I see more often than I should RTV all over that gasket for the fuel pump. It's exactly why I see all the oil coming off, was weeping around this, so that explains that. Remember that one I said the clamp was loose? Well, you see this boot is up on that, it's riding on that. Look at that, it an intake leak. That's why it was running like crap and wouldn't hold an idle oil. It was the left side of the motor. Yep, this was loose and it had pushed itself off of that. That is exactly what the problem was with the idle, is the intake boot leaking. See that a lot. I had the same problem with 78 when I first cranked it up before I pulled it. I could tell. Now I could get to that Phillips on this cage. The other side, I changed that out when I first met the guy because he had a rattle in it. The fan blades was hitting the cage and you kind of pushed it forward a little bit and you didn't have to push it. Well, it's another intake leak. See all the fluid on the gasket? It was leaking. This thing ought to run 100% better. And I'm curious to see if this intake gasket's leaking. I think most of it was, I could hear it on the left side. I could hear the valve sucking the sound through that boot. Could have sprayed something flammable to see if the idle changed. It's a good way to check if you have an intake leak. Of course, be careful. Have a fire extinguisher around. Be a good idea. These things like to catch on fire. Proper installation of the fuel lines vital. Let's see what we got here. Yep, same story. See, intake leak leaking. Wow, a lot of fuel in there. Yep, well, because it couldn't burn it. Because it had so many intake leaks. Unburnt fuel. Doesn't run good if it's not burning the fuel properly. Get that Phillips screw out of there once and for all. Right, once you loosen this and it kind of fell, it opened up that area and let it out. Or let the squirrel cage and the alternator come up. Come on, people, you bug lovers. I know there's always something to do on that bug. And if you don't want to do it yourself, I'm your man. I love this. Look at that, the thing was on right. Imagine that. Stuff a rag in the hole. No, 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 we don't want nothing to go down that hole. Boy, somebody loved these Phillips head screws. We're gonna put the correct ones in it. I gotta whip out my puller and get that pulley off. While I got it out, pull it off the other motor. Well, I am surprised all these are coming out. Not too bad. The trusty little rubber fuel line hold down. Let's hold it to the pin right close to the exhaust. Hey, that one had a washer on it. Imagine that. It's like the first washer I found on everything I've taken off. I like to take a motor apart, organize all my bolts, washers, and nuts, and put them back on and have nothing left. That's a good idea. Alright, that one's down there. This one will come off. Get ready for sandblasting. Put some lube on all of these. Yep. No nut on the exhaust right there. Let's get the exhaust off, and then get my bottom tins off. And I guess I'll get my pulley remover. Much left to do. Get the heater boxes off, and then I get those lower tins off, and then I've got to work this off. Other than things, bolts missing, nuts missing, hadn't ran into anything major. And I mean, of course, multiple intake leaks, intake manifold gaskets, intake boots. I think the only one that wasn't leaking is the gasket on the bottom of the carburetor. It should run a whole hell of a lot better with the whole new gasket. I got one heater box off. There's the other one. Oh, here we go again. Phillips screws. Alright, we've got all the tins off, got the exhaust off, pulley off, the front 10 below it. As I said, I didn't find anything that can't be paired with a gasket kit. As you can see, most of his oil leaks. I'm going to be replacing the rear main. Looks like it's leaking too. Of course, your push rod tube are leaking bad. Let's see, there's no leaks on this side. That little weeping. Yeah, boy. Yeah, it's got oil everywhere. Yep. That's it for this one. All stripped down. I'm going to be sandblasting all the tins tomorrow, along with the other one. Get back with you when we get a little further on this motor and get this one all cleaned up and detailed and ready to reassemble. And I'm all done painting all the tins. You all have a great day, and this is G-Man, just bugging.